Welcome to the My Brain, My Happiness podcast. My name is Joe, and on each episode, it is my goal to spread awareness on mental health. No, I'm not a therapist, a psychiatrist, or a medical doctor. I'm just a guy who has had a lifelong relationship with mental illness, specifically OCD. Together with you, I want to blow the roof off the stigma that comes with having a mental illness. You need to know you're not alone. I promise this podcast will be upbeat and positive. My goal with each episode is to make you understand that you don't have to take this on alone or in silence. Now let's change some lives. Hey, welcome everybody. Episode number 16. I can't believe it. I'm cruising here on My Brain, My Happiness. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. Actually, it's 6:25 at night here in the great state of Connecticut, where I record from in my downtown basement studio. It's not downtown. It's in the fucking rural of Hartford. Anyway, today I am settled in, but I have a Fountain Diet soda today, so you're not going to hear the crack of the can. Sorry, Tom. But believe you me, I got my Diet Coke, my trusty Diet Coke. You know, I have been through hell and back with my mental health, and I have not tried to hide it at all. I've listened to some books. And right now I'm listening to one by Mel Robbins. It's her new book, and it's called Let Them. This fucking book is life-changing. And I'm not even a quarter of the way through the first chapter. But I can't wait to talk about the shit I learned from this new theory or this new study or this new whatever you want to call it, calling Let Them, the Let Them theory. And it's just about letting people be who they're going to be and do what they want to do and not having it impact you. So I can't wait to see what I learned from this book. But, you know, she has been truly successful with her motivational podcasts and speaking engagements and all that. And this book is great. It's fucking great. Another book that I listened to a while back, probably in the last 8 months or so, 6-8 months, was one of David Goggins' books, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was great, and it talked about his life, and so I'm assuming it's probably like his first book, but the shit that guy put himself through is like fucking inhumane. I don't even know how someone could get that kind of discipline to do the shit he did. That is the most mentally tough motherfucker I have ever heard speak in my life. So I like to fall somewhere kind of in between, right? I cannot imagine that any mere mortal would want to put themselves through the shit that David Goggins put himself through. But listen, it got him to where he is today, right? And he's a definite rags to riches story, and he did that all on his own. Abusive childhood and all that shit, and just he fucking amazes me, his inner strength. But I listened to one of his talks lately, and he talked about, you know, your brain being like the most powerful weapon you have in the world. And it's the only thing, your brain is the only thing that you have when you're dealing with hard times, like the loss of a loved one or depression. You know, you're alone with your thoughts. You can't fucking Google away depression. You can't, you know, get on YouTube and, you know, find a video that is going to just make your loved one come back. You got to deal with that shit on your own. And your brain always wants to control you and pull you into these fucking pockets of these routines that you do every day, right? And the problem is, if you do the same things over and over every single day and you never make a change and you don't get control of your brain and how it's working and the things you're doing, you're fucked. You need to retrain your brain. That's what you need to do. We need to focus on retraining our brain. 95% of what we do by the time we're 30 years old, they're unconscious habits, hardwired attitude, beliefs, and perceptions. You know, our thoughts make our body function like a computer program. We just go through the motions every day. We get up and we do the same fucking thing every day. And it's funny because we have, 60 to 70,000 thoughts that go through our head every day. And 95% of them are negative thoughts. Got to work on retraining that brain. You got to do it. Most people wait for something tragic to happen, or a health scare before they'll make a change. But why? Why not just start now? I mean, I have not hidden the fact that I lost 80 pounds. There was no health scare for me, but I'll tell you what, oh my God, I've talked about this before. I was 266 pounds. I couldn't walk. My knees, the arthritis in my knees were killing me. And I'm like, I got to do something, man. I got to do something. And so I decided to make a change. And, I dropped 80 pounds. I didn't wait. I didn't wait till I had a heart attack or anything like that. But you know what I got to do? I came off of 2 of my 3 blood pressure medications. All my numbers were back down to normal. My cholesterol was normal. These are numbers. I'm on medication still for this stuff, but still, even on the medication, my numbers were still elevated, but they're not anymore. My sugar's not elevated anymore. I was never diabetic, but I was getting to the point where I was pre-diabetic, all because I wasn't taking care of myself. And it could just lead into a life of just fucking misery if you don't start to take care of yourself and retrain your brain and put in the hard work. You can learn in a state of joy, and you can learn in a state of suffering and pain. You choose. Which one would you rather learn in? I'd rather be in a state of joy, to be honest with you, because I think that the stuff I'm going to learn when I'm in a state of joy is going to do me better. Now, I'm not saying don't take lessons from that pain and suffering that you've been through, but use it to make you a stronger person. Don't get into the whole fucking pity party. And I'm going to tell you why not to get into the pity party. Because your fucking problems are not on anyone else's agendas. They got their own shit to deal with. They're not going to deal with yours. And we sometimes as human beings, we get that pity party and the people feel sorry for us. And then also we crave that outside attention, that those people that are like, oh, I'm so sorry for you. What can I do to help or whatever? And then you don't help because you've lost yourself in that world of just self-wallowing self-pity. Retrain your brain. The moment you decide to make a different choice, get ready, because it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's definitely going to feel uncomfortable. And if you don't choose to think differently, you're not going to change. Why is that? Because we have the same thoughts. And what do the same thoughts do? The same thoughts lead to the same choices. And then the same choices lead to the same behavior. And then that creates the same experience over and over and over again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same fucking thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you want something, you got to work for it. You got to train your brain to say, hey, listen, this person may be better than me at this. But if I work harder than that person, I'm going to be able to be good at it too. There are some things that people are just more naturally talented at, whether it be math or sports or whatever. But if you put the work in and you tell your brain, I can do this, and you don't fucking quit, you can be just as good as the other person. And then you could probably surpass them because you're going to be outworking them. You got to remember that when you decide to make a change, your body's going to fight you. And it's going to start to pull you and give you those familiar negative thoughts. How you respond to that is key. Learning how to shorten the response is so important. You got to retrain your brain. I've said it a whole bunch this episode, right? You have to start to train your brain for change. You have to start to weed out the negative thoughts like a fucking garden so that the positive changes and thoughts can start to grow. The flowers, the plants, whatever, right? Weed the shit out and let the good stuff grow in. We learn the most about ourselves and others when we're uncomfortable. And when you're trying to make a change, you are uncomfortable. The key is don't give up. Don't fucking give up. It's literally the worst thing you could do. Because you'll never unlock your potential. When you turn on a stress response and you can't turn it off, you're on your way to disease and illness. It's scientifically proven. You can't live a healthy life with long-term stress. Our thoughts can literally make us sick. But you know what else our thoughts can do? They can make us well. So just retrain your brain. Start to think, I can, I will, and I'm going to. And stop with the excuses of, I don't have time, or I can't do this, or it's too hard. You got to stop all that bullshit. That negative talk is getting you nowhere. You can, you will, and so go do it. I hope you guys got something out of this podcast today. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. This is Joe Dillon, and this has been My Brain, My Happiness. Oh, yeah.